Hello, welcome to the Security Update with me, Hamse Daabjeerin. In this program, we will be covering for you the latest stories that matter security in the African countries, from West to Horn of Africa. Ahead on the program, ICJ denounces Kenya's application to postpone maritime case. Sudan says Ethiopian forces crossed into its territory, raising tensions. Ethiopia welcomes Cuba's border mediation appeal. Somalia opposition presidential candidates call for mass protests in Mogadishu on Friday. Buhari promised to protect lives without discrimination. Welcome to the program. The International Court of Justice has rejected Kenya's request to have its maritime dispute with Somalia postponed for a fourth time. Somalia's Information Minister Osman Dube said this week Somalia have written to the United Nations Court objecting a further delay of the case. The International Court of Justice has rejected Kenya's request to have its maritime dispute with Somalia postponed for a fourth time. The court on Saturday informed the two parts that the hearings of the case would proceed as scheduled starting March 15th in a hybrid format. The court said, as already explained to the two parts during a technical meeting on January 26, there is a possibility for a limited number of representatives of the parties to appear in person in the Great Hall of the Justice. Kenya had on January 28 applied for a third delay of the case citing the COVID-19 pandemic. Somalia's Information Minister Osman Dube said Mogadishu had petitioned the International Court of Justice to reject Kenya's request for further postponement. For the past years, there has been a maritime dispute between Somalia and Kenya. The Somalia claims the maritime and says Kenya is violating international law. Ethiopia forces crossed into Sudanese territory in an act of aggression, Sudanese Foreign Minister said on Sunday, marking the latest flare-up in a long-standing border dispute.
Ethiopian forces crossed into Sudanese territory in an act of aggression, Sudan's foreign minister said on Sunday, marking the latest flare-up in the long-standing border dispute. Sudan condemns the aggression of Ethiopia's forces on the lands illegally belonging to Sudan, which was a direct violation of Sudan's sovereignty and territorial integrity, said the Sudanese foreign minister in a statement. The Ethiopian aggression is also a violation of values and neighborliness and positive interaction among countries that enhances stability and security, the minister added. It demanded Ethiopia's immediate stop in encroachment on Sudanese territories and ensure completion of the redemarcation of the borders agreed upon, while holding Ethiopia fully responsible for the consequences of its aggression. So far, there has been no immediate response from Ethiopian Foreign Minister, official spokesman Dina Mufti, and State Minister of Foreign Affairs Redwan Hussein to Sudan's new claims. But Ethiopia has also accused Sudan of crossing into its territory earlier. The Ethiopian Foreign Ministry said on its Facebook page on Saturday that Ambassador Dina called on the government of Sudan to stop plundering and displacing Ethiopian citizens that it has started as of November 6th. Dina said third-party mediation was unnecessary once the Sudanese army evacuates the area that it has forcefully occupied. The Ethiopian Foreign Minister Facebook added,
Sudan and Ethiopia have welcomed South Sudanese efforts to mediate their border dispute, with Addis Ababa asking the Juba team to prioritize neutrality during the talks. Addressing members of the press in Juba over the weekend, Ethiopia's Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson Dina Mufti said the country's welcomes South Sudanese appeal to mediate the dispute.
Addressing members of the press in Juba over the weekend, Ethiopia's Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson Dina Mufti said the country welcomes South Sudan's appeal to mediate the dispute. According to Ambassador Mufti, the two countries' border agreement was signed between Ethiopia and the British colonial administration. However, the British conducted a demarcation exercise unilaterally without the presence of the Ethiopian side. Ambassador Mufti said that in 1972, the two sides exchanged notes to renegotiate and redemarcate the border while maintaining the status quo in order to settle the matter amicably. The countries have been on the right track in establishing relevant joint committees or commissions. However, there is no reason for Sudan to violate the status quo at this time, Ambassador Mufti said. This belligerence on the South Sudanese side does not reflect the long-standing relations between the two countries, and Ethiopia is asking Sudan to respect the status quo. We are also asking our friends and partners to impress upon the Sudanese authorities to that effect. Ethiopia believes our Sudanese brothers and sisters will heed to our request for the issue to be settled peacefully. Last week, Tutgatluak Manibe, South Sudan's presidential security advisor, who heads the Juba delegation to Sudan, said that Khartoum has accepted Juba's proposal to mediate the border talks. We didn't want the two countries continue in dispute. When there's no peace in neighboring Ethiopia and Sudan, then we can't feel comfortable as South Sudan, he said. On Sunday, Sudan condemned Ethiopian forces for their new aggression on Sudanese lands without providing the specific time. The Ethiopian aggression was also a violation of the values of neighborliness and positive interaction among countries that enhance stability and security, the ministry added. It demanded Ethiopia immediately stop its encroachment on Sudanese territories and ensure completion of the redemarcation of the borders as agreed upon, while holding Ethiopia fully responsible for the consequences of its aggression. Since September 2020, the border between Sudan and Ethiopia has been witnessing rising tensions and skirmishes between the two sides. Sudan accuses Ethiopian farmers backed by armed forces of ceding Sudanese borderlands in Sudan's Fashaga area and cultivating them since 1995. The border area of Fashaga between Sudan and Ethiopia, one of the 5 localities of Sudan's Gadaref state, often witnesses deadly attacks by Ethiopian militia during the preparation of the agricultural season.
Somalia government has condemned Yemeni Houthis' attack on Abha airport in south of Saudi Arabia. According to Saudi officials, the drones had been fired by the Houthis toward civilian targets in Hamse Daabjeerin in southern Saudi Arabia, close to Abha. The federal government of Somalia has condemned Yemeni Houthis' attack on Abha airport in south of Saudi Arabia. According to Saudi officials, the drones had been fired by the Houthis toward civilian targets in Hamse Daabjeerin in southern Saudi Arabia, close to Abha. Saudi air defenses intercepted and destroyed a drone rigged with explosives, which had been launched by the Houthis against Abha airport in southwestern Saudi Arabia. Somalia said the move could further increase insecurity in the region. According to Somalia's foreign ministry, this Horn of African nation strongly condemns the Houthis militia's attack targeting the airport Abha and believes that such attack will not bring peace to the region, but rather obstruct the peace process in Yemen. Abha airport was targeted in a separate attack by the rebels on Wednesday when a drone attack left a civilian aircraft in place. The Houthis say the airport, little more than 100 kilometers from the border with Yemen, is a legitimate target as it has been used as a base for the coalition's widely condemned pumping campaign in Yemen. The opposition presidential candidates called for mass protests in Mogadishu on Friday over President Farmajo. The Council of the Opposition presidential candidates warned the government to disrupt their protests. The Council of Opposition Presidential Candidates of Somalia has called for a mass protest against the country's President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, whose constitutional legitimacy expired on 8 February. The Council has warned against the federal government to disrupt the protests, which is expected to take place on this coming Friday. The Council said the protest will be peaceful and people will express their desire without violating the security and the constitution of the country. Somalia's President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo's legitimate term ended on 8 February, and still the country's political stakeholders have not reached agreement on the election. The Council of the Opposition presidential candidates said they will not recognize Farmajo as the legitimate president, though the federal government said he will remain the president of the country until a new president is elected. The Somalia's international partners has recently urged the leaders of the federal government and regional administrations to resolve their differences over the electoral process in Somalia and to base everything on the agreement reached by the leaders on September 17th of last year. And they wanted Somalia political stakeholders to fail to break a deadlock that could lead further election delays. Many Somali traders in South Africa have begun protests against the targeted killings on them. For the last 5 days, at least 5 Somali traders were killed by unknown South African armed men. Somalis in South Africa have expressed anger over recent Somali traders killing in the country. According to reports, at least 5 Somali traders were killed by unknown South African armed men. The protesting shopkeepers marched down Durban and Stamford roads in Croston, Port Elizabeth. They forcefully shut 2 shops they found open in Durban Road. They waved placards saying, "Stop killing us, fellow Africans." These Somali traders told the media that they are killed and robbed every day because they are not prepared to pay the protection fee and the police fail to protect them, while communities are also exploiting them. In another incident on Friday, a 38-year-old shop owner was fatally shot and his assistant wounded at about 30 minutes to midnight in local time Police confirmed the killings and said the two people were shot in their shop in Foucault Street on Friday. The two victims, aged between 23 and 25 years old, were inside the shop when the two suspects entered and shot both of them. One victim passed away at the scene, while the other passed away on the way to the hospital. Somaliland security forces in Bro have tightened security in the region. The regional police commissioners have said this is just part of the efforts to maintain security in the region. But we will be back more after the short break.
Hello out there. Tune in to CBA TV, the voice of East Africa and beyond. There's so many people around the world who are watching along with you.
Welcome to CBA, Somaliland's only bilingual TV station, where professionalism and expertise come together to bring you real news in real time.
This is CBA TV special program. My name is Ajara Ahmad Tijani.
My name is Balu Shekola Aziz, your regular host on that your lovely program, Talk to CBA.
Welcome to the security update with me, Hamse Daabjeerin.
From East to West Africa and beyond, CBA TV got you covered on news and current affairs. Reporting from Nigeria, Kamil Sadiq, CBA TV.
You're watching us live from our headquarters in Hargeisa, and this is CBA Sports with me, Abdiaziz Guled.
This is Young Afrique on CBA TV with me, Prince Hamza Mohammed.
Welcome to a new episode of our show Islam in Context. This is me, Ahmad Abduhab.
My name is Amina Hinda, and you're tuned into CBA TV.
Welcome back to the program. Somaliland security forces in Bro have tightened security in the region. The regional police commissioners have said this is just part of the efforts to maintain security in the region.
For
the past hours, the Somaliland security forces in Bro have started to tighten security in the city. The police forces conducted the operation in several districts and checkpoints in the region. The operation, which seems to be part of Bro's police efforts to maintain security in the region, is being scrutinized by the public and private vehicles, as well as questioning the suspects. Somaliland police officer said there are no security problems in the region, but just doing these operations to strengthen the security of the region, and they will intensify the operation within the coming days. The security forces asked the public to cooperate with the police forces and report any suspicious activity to the security forces to mitigate future terrorist attacks in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari has forwarded that this government will protect all religious and ethnic groups, whether majority or minority, in line with his responsibility under the Constitution. The president made this assertion after youths from Hausa and Yoruba communities clashed repeatedly in a market on Thursday and Friday.
President Muhammadu Buhari has vowed that his government will protect all religious and ethnic groups, whether majority or minority, in line with its responsibility under the Constitution. The president made this assertion after youth from the Hausa and Yoruba communities clashed repeatedly in a market in Ibadan, southwest Nigeria, on Thursday and Friday. Buhari warned that the government would not allow any ethnic or religious group to fan the embers of hatred and violence against other groups. It condemned such violence and gave the assurance that its government would act decisively to stop the spread of any such violence. Meanwhile, Mr. Buhari has appealed for calm and called politicians, religious and traditional leaders not to allow ethnic or religious groups to stoke up hatred and violence against other groups. Also, the governor of southwestern Nigerian state of Oyo, Seyi Makinde, has appealed for calm.
What I saw out there, I couldn't really believe. The carnage, the loss of lives, they are really needless. So we'll continue to appeal to everyone. The Constitution of Nigeria, like I said, allows anyone to stay wherever they like, but they must just obey the local laws. So if criminals want to take advantage of the situation, we will not allow it. We will ensure that criminals masquerading as hoodlums will be fished out and dealt with.
Normalcy has since restored to Shasha community in Ibadan, where traders at a popular market in the area had clashed on Thursday and Friday. Kamil Sadiq, CBA TV, Nigeria.
Several protesters in Nigeria's cities of Lagos were arrested at a protest held against the reopening of the Lekki toll gate, the epicenter of the #EndSARS movement. Police consequently brought them before a mobile court in Yaba for a breach for the peace and violation of COVID-19 protocols.
Several protesters in Nigeria's city of Lagos were arrested at a protest held against the reopening of the Lekki toll gate, the epicenter of the EndSARS movement. Police consequently brought them before a mobile court in Yaba for a breach of the peace and violation of COVID-19 protocols.
For the people that died, for the people that have been amputated, for the people that have lost their loved ones, we want justice. Nothing more than justice.
Buhari, you should be ashamed of yourself, sir. You do not deserve to be the president of Nigeria, and you should step down soon.
The Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry probing police brutality and alleged killings of EndSARS protesters by soldiers at the Lekki toll gate had ruled that the toll gate be handed back to its operator, Lekki Concession Company, LCC, after forensic experts submitted their report on the October 20, 2020 incident. 4 out of the 9 members of the panel had faulted the report of the forensic expert hired to comb the scene for evidence and rejected the application by the LCC to take possession of the facility, which had been shut down since the probe of the shooting started. The protest to end police brutality came to an end abruptly after the shooting in Lagos, and a wave of looting and arrest followed. Meanwhile, the government has promised reforms in response. Earlier in the week, the Nigerian government had warned against holding new protests at Lekki, saying the rallies could descend into violence in the name of justice.
For you to do otherwise will amount to undermining national security and the law and order situation. Under no circumstances will this be tolerated.
EndSARS is a decentralized social movement and series of mass protests against police brutality in Nigeria. The slogan calls for the disbanding of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, a notorious unit of the police with a long record of abuses. Kamil Sadiq, CBA TV, Nigeria.
3 women gunned down in Tainila district of Mogadishu. 2 of them are believed to have been pregnant. No group has claimed the responsibility of their assassination, but Somalia police forces is pointing finger at Al-Shabaab. According to reports, unidentified gunmen shot dead 3 Somali women in Tainila district of Mogadishu. 2 of them are believed to have been pregnant. People who immediately arrived at the scene said that different politics were on their party. No group has officially claimed responsibility of the assassination, but the police forces say they believe Al-Shabaab was behind the killing. The security forces affirm they have already launched an investigation into this crime. This is not the first time a civilian has been killed in Mogadishu. It was recently when 4 Somali men were killed in El Shabiha, which is the outskirts of Mogadishu, who are still unknown who was behind their killing. On different occasions, Somalia security forces said they will intensify the security of the country, but still the situation remains in a question mark. The UK government plan is to reinforce its support Somalia's national army through training and equipping to enable the military tackle the improvised explosive devices hazard that has killed many security forces and civilians.
3, 2, 1, fire!
The UK government has extended support to Somalia National Army through training and equipment to enable the military tackle the improvised explosive device hazard that has killed many security forces and civilians. The Ministry of Defense has awarded a contract to ISE, a British firm specializing in demining and counter-terrorism training, equipment and advice. This follows the recent visit of UK Defense Secretary Pen Wallace to Mogadishu, where he met President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo and reiterated his country's support to Somali security forces. The UK has recently announced a new support package for Somalia worth $21.8 million, including $1.6 million to counter the threat from roadside bombs, and a further $3.37 million for the Somali security forces engaged in joint operations with the African Union mission to Somalia. The support is expected to fill a part of the gap left by the U.S. following withdrawal of 700 troops who have been trained in Somali National Army. Dozens of Al-Shabaab members, including commanders, are feared dead and compounds destroyed after 4 missiles hit targeted in Sako and Salagle localities. Local media reported that suspected U.S. drones bombed the 2 Al-Shabaab stronghold towns in Middle Juba. According to reports, dozens of Al-Shabaab members, including commanders, are feared dead and compounds destroyed after 4 missiles targeted in Sako and Salagle. Local media reported that suspected U.S. drones bombed the 2 Al-Shabaab stronghold towns in the Middle Juba region. It is not clear the exact casualties of the attack, but officials who are privy to the mission claimed one of the targets was a meeting point attended by a number of Al-Shabaab commanders. Neither the U.S. government nor Al-Shabaab fighters have confirmed on this attack against Al-Shabaab's stronghold towns. AFRICOM has conducted 5 airstrikes against Al-Shabaab compounds and key leaders in Somalia since January 15th. An estimated 700 troops withdrew from the country on orders from the former President of the United States. The command has conducted a total of 8 airstrikes since the new year began. A car bomb has exploded in Mogadishu. Several people have been injured and no death reported. The blast destroyed over 10 vehicles, including 6 auto rickshaws parked along the road. According to reports, a car bomb has exploded in Mogadishu. Initial reports say there are several people injured in this car explosion. No death has yet been confirmed by the police of the region. Witnesses say the car passed through Dabka junction before the soldiers sprayed it with bullets and subsequently went off near Sayidka checkpoint, which is not far away from Somali Parliament building. The blast destroyed over 10 vehicles, including 6 auto rickshaws parked along the road. Ambulances have arrived at the scene to ferry the victims of the blast. Somali government has not yet commented on this explosion. No group has claimed responsibility for this car explosion, though Al-Shabaab had previously carried out similar attacks in Mogadishu and other parts of the country, but they have not claimed this one. And with that story, the car bomb exploded in Mogadishu, where several people have been injured. We wrap up our program for this time. Thank you very much for being with us. My name is Hamse Daabjeerin.